I reported to you just now that during my 40s and 50s, I came down with very serious illnesses. And so those were the things that heaven gave me when I did not want them at all. At the same time, heaven also gave me a lot of money when I did not actively pursue them. So because of such happenings, I really reflected on what life was all about. And Athlete Group actually has engaged translators to translate 2 books by Mr. Albert Schweitzer in conjunction with the Schweitzer Institute. And Mr. Schweitzer, of course, is a very respected philosopher of mine. And if we want to really search for the real meaning of life, we really have to dwell deep into our own inner self, and we really have to affirm all the values that constitute humanity, and also we have to get ourselves to become linked up with all other sentient beings in the world. And we have to have undying conviction, and we have to have undying belief in all of this, and we should never retreat from the pursuit of such a ram. So according to Mr. Albert Schweitzer, this is really the most important element of life, most important virtue of life. And reading his work has really helped me also in the field of business, because in the first 15 years of Athlete, we continue to lose a lot of money, and that's because of my limited business skills. But because of my reading, I realized that in a very commercialized world, the running a bookstore could become an industry that was gradually being phased out. But Mr. Schweitzer's words reminded me that my business could fail, but my search for the meaning of life will never be allowed to fail. And so I gave myself a commitment, even though I lost money in the first 15 years of its light. And so that was a promise that I made to myself. And so what I got from Mr. Schweitzer's words were that I shouldn't give up halfway. So in the first 15 years when we didn't make a dime, I still gritted my teeth and hung in there. Of course, we lost money because we were not very astute in running our business, and at the same time probably the services that we provided to our readers and to our customers weren't good enough. But when it comes to return, or when it comes to profit, I think there are 2 realms of meanings of these words for me. First, of course, is the monetary profit in economic sense. I think in the first 15 years, when Athlete lost money, I put that all down to the fact that we did not generate sufficient return for our customers. And so, because of that, we didn't deserve getting a return or getting a profit out of Athlete. I myself am a very blind optimist, and it was often quoted that selling service actually is even more dangerous than selling a concept. But as far as I am concerned, I think it's more important for you to keep your own values. Even though today I thank Professor Wang's invitation, and I'm very, very sincere and very serious about being here and speaking to you. That said, I understand that every human being is different and every human being is special. I'm just one of the 70 billion people in this world. For me, reading is actually a kind of karma. It's a timeless karma. So it shouldn't be limited by any particular temporal restriction. So when you browse in a bookstore, it may not be about buying a book. The reason why Aslit has created such a unique atmosphere in our bookstores and why we place so many chairs there and seats there is because we don't hold the sale of books as our first priority. Instead, we think of our readers as our customers. And so when someone is browsing in a bookstore, actually he's browsing the various facets of life. And as I said earlier on, reading is free from all sorts of restrictions, temporal, physical, geographical, and cultural, and ethnical, and so on and so forth. Reading should be limitless. So when someone is browsing in a bookstore, he's browsing all facets of life. And if you look at each title of a book, you know that it's actually a title in a particular facet of life. And so if you browse in a bookstore and you look through all the books and you glance through all the books, actually you're glancing through life. And this is a very, very beautiful picture. And young friends, you don't necessarily need to spend money in our bookstores. And if you go to Starbucks and you want to take a break there, you definitely have to spend money. You can't simply ask for a glass of water. However, if you come to our bookstores, we'll have one of the 400 seats there to cater to your needs. And now, because we usually put 400 chairs in our sleep bookstores, people would question whether that's a clever move. They might ask, how come you don't put more bookshelves in the places occupied by the chairs and the seats so that you can display more books and sell more books? But that's not our priority. Our priority is really to enable our customers to have a good browse on books and good browse on life. Okay, I have to hurry up. Now, Aslit has been under me for 22 years, and now because this book was issued 3 years ago, and so when I look back, I had a lot of mixed feelings. Because during this particular period, I endured 2 major operations, and so it was a period of blood, sweat, and tears. So, of course, I have a lot of ideals and a lot of dreams, but my abilities were only so many, and my abilities would enable me to only go so far. And of course, karma and destiny is very, very amazing. And I endured through my life journey with difficulty indeed. In 1989, when I was going through university, I once again thought of Mr. Sweish's books, and he was someone that came from a very good background, and he's got a lot of things going for him, and yet he still managed to have a very, very humanitarian and kind spirit. And so that's the spirit of Sweisha. Now, even if you yourself did not go through adversity, you can still feel for people who are in adversity. There are 2 Chinese sayings. Now, if someone is past the age of 40, then that someone is no longer living for himself, living for the entire world. I think that's really a very, very noble sentiment. Mr. Schweitzer was a very famous Bach player, and he held a very lofty positions in church. And so he had wealth and he had fame and he had reputation. But in Paris, he read a newspaper which said that in Congo, in Africa, black people were suffering from so many illnesses, and also there was still slavery in Africa, and so that moved him. And he went back to medical school. And then, from then on till he passed away at the age of 90-something, he sacrificed and invested his whole life into saving the suffering black people in Africa.
好了，我在念弘一大师。
Okay, so this is the second book.
这里
Master Hong
跟
Yi.
朋友们分享。
I want to share with you
在
this.
不同的时间看了弘一大师传，
I read this
有
book
3个阶段不同
many,
的
many
感受。
times
第一个
at different periods
是
of my life.
1986年之前，
And
对于这个世界
first time I
有
read it, it
充满
was
了
before
感激，因为我那个时候很年轻，
back then I was very, very
感
young,
激己身的
and
存
I
在，拥有
was
健康与思维，有
still
生命
having
中的
my
笑
health,
泪与爱，
and
正是
so
诗人所写，
I
这是
was
开头
very
写的。
sensitive to my
人的
surroundings
存在
because
是个永恒的奇异，那就是
I
生命。
was in the prime of my life,
这
and
写
so
在
that was the first
我
time
自
when
己还
I
留着《弘一大师传》的第一个 page。
first read it, and I left some of the notes in that book which said as much.
很奇
And
妙的一
in
件事情我发生了。
1992, there was something amazing that
6
happened.
年我没有再读弘一大师，有一天
There was a gap of 6
我觉
years
得
when I
心
did not
情有一点，
read this book, and then all of a
就是
sudden
有
there
点
was this
郁
day
闷
when I
我就心
felt
血来潮，
quite down.
我到我们
So
家的书架又重
I
新找到弘
went
一
to my
大师，
bookshelf
我一摊
and I
开看，
took down this book and I
6年后的同一天，
flipped through this book. And at
所以
first
我在当晚。那个时
page
候我们还
I
出一个
flipped
成品
to
阅读、成品好读等等
was
杂
the
志，
page
阅读
where
的
I
杂
left
志。
my notes
我在那一
6 years
一
ago.
期的序文，1992年我写的
So
这
that
个
was in 1992. I left
其中的
another
一段啊，
line
反
of
复
notes.
再三阅读
I
弘一大
read
师
this book
传
again,
6年前
Master Hong Yi,
划线的
and
精
6
彩
years
片
ago
段，此刻的
I
感受是对生命的指
underlined
引
the
胜
parts
过
that
感
really
激，
inspired me.
对
But
平
now
淡
6
生
years
活的
later,
新鲜，超越多彩多姿的浪漫。
I felt
看来
that
我
I
更
had a
吸引
whole different look
青
of life,
春
and
来生
I
命信心的
was no
成长
longer excited by
以
all the
静
colors
观
in
的
life.
心境
Instead, I
来
was
迎接另一生命
drawn
阶段的
to
来临。
the peace and
各
tranquility
位
in
朋
life.
友们，6年之间，
So, within the
因为
space
我
of 6
得了
years,
病，
my mentality changed,
我开
and
了刀，
partly of that was also
我面临
because
成
I
品的
came
亏
down
损，
with very serious illness,
我的
and
身
also
心受的
I
煎
was
熬。
saddled
跟在
with
1986年，
loss making
我
and
对
sleep
生
group,
命充满了美好的想
and
象。
so I really had a whole different outlook of life, and so I was totally
所以
at a
同一本
different
书
place
对
than
我
6
而
years
言
ago. 6 years ago, I was full of life and I was very, very excited about everything and all possibilities. But 6 years later, and after so much adversity and so much suffering, so much pressure, I no longer was at that same place, and it was very, very different.
因为
And then,
今年是成品25周年，我们出了很多
in the 25th
经典的阅读
anniversary
包
of
含爱的艺术，
a sleep
包
group,
含弘一大师
when
传
we
是其中之
release
一
a whole lot of masterpieces all over again, including Master Hong Yi, I wrote
生命
a
中
short
经历的
piece
困
once
顿与
again
病
on
痛，
Master
我
Hong
深
Yi.
刻明白。
I deeply understand the adversity in life,
假使没有
illnesses,
弘
and
一大师
also
在我心中，
various
假使
pressures
心
and
中
various
没有一位
failures.
敬仰的典范，
And
我不一
I
定能够度过
feel
这
very,
生
very
命中的难
blessed that
关。
I read Hong Yi Master when I was young and over the years, because without such a presence in my life, without such readings, I wouldn't be able to go on and wouldn't be able to maintain my own dignity and my own inner peace. I really deeply feel that this is a book of life, and I myself am only a commoner, and I simply couldn't put it down. And Master Hong Yi actually has tell me something that is very epic, and that's the story and the meaning of life, and the real principles that one should abide by when one goes through life.
各位朋友们，
Ladies and gentlemen,
假使你们有读到你们喜欢的书，
if you come across a book that you really, really like,
你在不同的生命阶段
Never
里
forget
你阅读它，你
that
会观察到
you should go back to it
你生
in
命
different
的
periods of your life,
一些变
and
化。
then you will realize what changes have already taken place in your life.
我下面
The next book that I'm going to share with you is the New Bible of Dalai. I think power, life, and money will come and go. But if you use those things to serve others, then they will become everlasting. I've always believed that spiritual power exists, and it exists in a very, very metaphysical and mystical way. And if you have enough peace, and if you know what should be the true values of life, then you'll be able to make the right decision, and you'll be able to go through life's adversity with less difficulty. I think between human beings and nature, and between human beings and the spiritual world, and among human beings, there is always a link. And yet, it is very difficult for someone to navigate through life without a very clear beacon. So in this vast universe, if you want to navigate through this vast universe, you really need a clear beacon. Do you have such a beacon in your life? Whether it is in a three-dimensional space or in other spaces. If you put down what is dearest to you, what you hold the most precious and the dearest in your life, in simple words, then probably those words will constitute a beacon of your life, and then you can review them every year, and then you can revise your beacon every year as you go along. I think that should be an easy and simple task. I think you wouldn't regret it because it's an investment in your mind, and it's an investment in your life, and it will never be outdated. So please don't get befuddled by Steve Jobs' creations, iPhones, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's your own life, it's your own time. Wouldn't it be a much worthier investment in yourself to create a collection of writings which are about your beacons in life, and also you can pass them on to your children and to your grandchildren? I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit emotional here because I'm really, really worried about the present young generation here. And because I've come down with serious illnesses, I have learned to live with illnesses. And for a period of time, I had to go to a hospital every month. And so I endure a whole range of emotions. I endured many, many experiences which created a lot of feelings in me, excited a lot of feelings in me, including gratitude, including guilt, and including despair, and including hope, and so on and so forth. And also, I was afforded a lot of time to reflect on myself during my illness, and that really has helped me to become more mature and grow. When I read Dalai's New Bible, I reflected on myself, and also I had a lot of spiritual dialogue with the spiritual master. I discovered that inner peace is something that you have to actively pursue and very wisely pursue before you can get to it. And also each person is special, each person has its value, and each person has its own place in the universe. And there is a reason for each person to exist. And Dalai Lama once said that the three most important things in life are as follows. And I want to describe them as the three bank passbooks of a person. And the first bank passbook is your heart and spirit, and it should be filled with love, peace, and beauty. And secondly, your second bank passbook for life is your health. And third Your third bank textbook is your material wealth.
得到太多的烦恼，
But too many people
1、2、3颠倒成为3、2、1了。
getting the priorities mixed up and getting all three bank passports mixed up.
此书当下给我最深刻
And
的
when I
启
read
示是，
Dallas
既有
New
信
Bible,
受为人，
the
不管
deepest
平
feeling
安
that I
或
got
大，不论拥有
was
多少
that
财富
no
与
matter
权
how
利
much wealth you have or
将
how
是
little
不
wealth
能
you
时
have,
常
no
心
matter how
存
powerful
慈
you
悲
are, and
利
how
他与随缘，
powerless you are, if you do not have inner
其
peace
实
and if you do not have inner contentment, you have nothing.
最后一本，
The final book that I would like to
想
share
要
with
讲
you.
一点商业哈。
Now I'm coming to the business side of the
台湾出
equation,
了一本这个《天下杂志》出了一本这个
and this
稻
is a
盛和
book
夫，他其实是被日本人
that is
称为
being
经
printed
营
in
之
Taiwan, and this is by
好像
Japanese
经营之神
writer
是以前的松下
Dao Sheng Er Fu in
先生嘛
Chinese.
哦。那这位好像现在他还当 Japan Airline 的
I
这
think
个董事长，
he is
他
now
是重整，
the
他已经
chairman of the
80多岁
board
了。
of Japan Airlines,
这位先
and
生
he
呢
is
他
already
的
in
写
his
本
80s,
书
and
叫做《人
yet
为什
he
么活
has
着》，
to
其
deal
中
with the
摘
reorganization of
录
Japan
了我
Airlines.
写的序文的部分。一位伟大的企业经营者，穷毕生之力，
A
优先
great
关照的是生命的
corporate
本质究竟，而不只是
entrepreneur
聚焦在机
should
会的
only
掌
be
握、
concerned
版图
on
的
the
扩张、
only on the
获利的
grasping
增长。
of opportunities and the building of
深
an
感认同与
corporate
肯定，
empire.
他的人格气
And
度让我
that
十分
great
尊
corporate
重。
entrepreneur should
这个
also
其实就
pay
是
attention
企
to
业家
humanities
应有
and
的
also to the
人文
needs of
思
the
维。
people, and also
20 世
should be
纪的
people
企业
centric.
经营者，尤其是更具
In the
全球
21st
影响力
century,
的经
an
营者，
entrepreneur,
他们使
especially
用
one
了人类极多
that
的
has
资
world
源，
influence,
相对之下也影响更多人。因此，
should
除了对于
have the
经营者传
realization
统
that
角色
the
要求
more
之
resources
外，
that
他们
he
必须
has command of, the
商
more
业技
influence
巧
that he will
创造
have
出新的生命
over
轨
the
道
world, and he
并列
really
出
should
新的生
make
命
use of
价
such a
值，
platform
教育
and
下一代
such
年轻人，
a background in order to benefit the world before he actually would find inner peace and would find the deepest
作者
satisfaction.
非常讲
If
究
he only
信
focus
念
on
与
profit
正向
margin,
思
he
考
will
的
not
重
do.
要性。作者说，人生
And the Japanese
是
writer
提升
says
心
that
智的过程。
life actually is a training ground in order
造
to
物主
polish
是
your
给人
mind.
类用来提升心智的修炼场。
And life actually is a training ground for you to enrich your spirit and enrich your heart. And so you really should see life as
失败
that.
才算考验，成功也是一种试炼。
Not only are failures a
我相
test,
信每个人都有他的生命
but
功课。
successes
上天
also
之所以
are a
赋予人
test
不同特
of
质，让
you
你来
as
到
a
人
person.
世间，正是为了完成某一样功课，不管
And
成
the
败、
reason why someone is on
贫
this
富、顺利。
world,
都将
on
至
this
是我
earth,
生命必修的功课。
is because
你
that
的
someone has to
成
fulfill
功是因为
his
很多人
destiny,
的
has
协
to
助
really
在乎
walk the path that
不
he's
需
supposed to walk
教
on.
引交金，而要更加谦虚。
And
即
that
使你失
really
败
is
了，
very
也是被
humbling.
当
And
作
even
镜子
if
以
you
你
fail,
为戒，失败亦被
you
赋
can
予
learn from your failures, you
积
can
极
learn
意义。
from
这个失败的个案，在企业界里边，
how you
很多时
stumble
候是被
and
拿
why
来
you
他山
stumble
之石可
and
攻错。
so forth. And also, your
作者
failures
强
can
调
also
因为人
benefit
类的
others.
灵魂共同追求的价值，应是来自于活着的时候
For
为这个
all
世界做
humanities,
出多少贡献，以及做了
we
多
should
少善
have
行
this
才
as
是。这
our
是很
ultimate
重要
goal,
的生
i.e.
命
when
的
we
人
pass
生
away from this
要为他人
world,
服务
we
才
should
能显现
measure
信
our
彰显现
achievements
存在
by
的
how
意义。
much
我
we
正
have
是这
served
种
our
信
fellow
念的
human
服
beings
务
and how
者。
much we have
最
contributed
重
to
要
the
的是
world.
这一段
And
对年轻朋友们，
I think this following paragraph is
中
most
国
important to
儒
young
家
people.
有言：
Confucius of
生而
China
知之，
says that
习而知之，困而知之，就是
when you are
有一
alive,
些
you
我们
should
所知道的，
acquire
就是你先
understanding of
天一
life.
生下
And
来
when you
就有的。
study, you
有一
should
些
acquire
是透过
understanding
学习
of the
才
subject
得
that
到
you
的。
study. And
但
when
其实所有
you die, you should also
有年纪
have
的
understanding
人
of death.
大概都会同意，生命里边让
If
你
you were
的
old
特
enough,
质
you would agree
发挥到
that
最具创造力的，应该是困而知之，就是你在生命里你遭遇了很多困难。
when you encounter a lot of adversities, when you encounter a lot of difficulties and hardship, you
然
learn
后
the
累积
most.
出来你个人
Now, when you
独特的
weather such storms,
生命经
you
验
would
这个知呢，
be
其
most
实才是最
enriched
重要的。
by them. And so
所以
understanding
朋友们
is very, very
当
important.
生命中的某一阶段处于困境时，
So
其
if you
实
encounter
正是领悟较
adversity,
高生
when
命
you
智慧的
encounter
深奥时刻。
hardship, that would
作者
be
在书中特
the
别鼓励
critical
年轻人要
juncture
用正
where
面
you
思
can
维
elevate
来
your
面对
understanding of
困
life
境，
to a whole
因
new
为呢，正是
level
体验与
and
学
whole
习
new
的大好良
horizon.
机。
So difficulties will give rise to wisdom and give rise to deeper understanding of life. I am someone with a very positive outlook on life, and that's all because I have encountered illnesses and I have weathered them. Okay, I'm not going to read out so many passages from now on.
这个是我自己认为应该是值得我们年轻朋友们。
So these are the 4 books that I really would like to share with you. I really hope that you can dabble with them.